Welcome to Cast and Release, your 15th favorite podcast. I'm Cameron Dufresne.
And I'm Skylar Shea, and we've taken your suggestions, our friends on Facebook, and we're going to talk about them.
I didn't know there were this many. I only saw like a few.
Well, I've added a few more after the fact.
Alright, did you go around like polling people?
Yeah, I asked a few people, like my friend Eric and Brittany, who added their suggestions about talking, and I also had one of my own about nostalgia. So let's just
It's interesting.
start at the top of the list.
Oh, I should have made one.
Whether or not the Holocaust happened, suggested by Kendra. And
I'm gonna say that's it's a safe bet.
yeah, I have
I'm thinking that went on.
Yeah, I have a good feeling that the Holocaust was a thing that happened.
Skylar, tell us about the Hollow Earth theory.
Oh, the Hollow Earth theory. See, what I don't get about conspiracy theorists is that like they'll just make up workarounds for anything that they want to believe.
Yeah.
Like even if you have over like stacked evidence against them, they'll come up
They
with
just
their
don't see reason.
Well, yeah, well this is one of the reasons.
They hear what they want to hear.
Great example of that is the Hollow Earth theory.
Yeah.
So people who believe in the Hollow Earth, they believe that the sun and the earth and the universe is contained inside of the Earth's crust, and that we live on the outside of the Earth's crust with all of our continents. But they believe that somewhere in the North and South Pole, respectively, there are holes, like gigantic holes that are covered up by the government so that we don't catch wind of what's going on underneath there. But there's just gigantic holes that connect us to the underside of the crust. So imagine like the Earth as a hollow ball, and that on the underside is just another civilization of people living individual lives. Okay, something to add on to that is people who believe in Hollow Earth also think that that's where the Aryans, like tall, blonde German men, came from in World War II, and also this ties into the Holocaust not happening.
Yeah.
They believe that the German government could look more legit. Instead of killing all of those Jewish people, they just sent them...
They put them in a fucking hole.
They put them into the Hollow Earth.
In what, Nebraska?
Yeah. Yes.
The Jews didn't die. There were 6 million Jews just shoved into a hole in Nebraska alive.
Well, no, they live in... Well, they think that the Jews live on the hollow end of the Earth now. They think that they're living their lives with all of the original Aryans that live underneath.
Oh my! Isn't there some shit about them thinking the Jews are immortal or something?
Oh yeah, there's
like
different theories as to what like they think that the Jews can live forever. Like anyone can live forever when you live inside of the Hollow Earth. That only people who have the knowledge of the access to the holes in the Hollow Earth can go in and out freely. It's just a cluster.
That's a clusterfuck right there.
Yeah.
So you heard this from your girlfriend Brittany's brother, right?
Yes, my girlfriend Brittany's brother.
Are you sure he didn't make this up himself? This sounds like a Tyler Salavano type thing.
I have looked this up on the internet multiple times.
I can't find anything. You have?
Yeah, I found it. It's like it's a brother board of the flat Earth theory. People will just believe anything that they want. I don't even know if they're serious. Can you even take... Do you think people who believe that the Holocaust didn't happen or that the moon landing didn't happen, that they even take themselves seriously? Do they think they know what they're saying is stupid?
It's just a clusterfuck of self-delusion. They just... most deluded people on Earth. They just... Like, evil people, sociopaths and whatnot. They don't see themselves as evil. And same applies to stupid people. They don't see themselves as stupid. They think they're the smartest motherfuckers in the room. There's like a psychological principle that the smarter you think you are, odds are the dumber you are.
Yeah.
The dumber you think you are, odds are the smarter you are. I'm pretty dumb. So, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so this next question, the endangerment of bananas. And so
it's said by Hannah, by the way.
Blanket statement. Some people were just fucking with us, right?
I am absolutely positive. I have selectively omitted one from your original section of the comments.
And it wasn't the Holocaust one?
It wasn't
the Holocaust one you saw fit to stay.
I thought we could have an interesting conversation about the Holocaust one not happening.
It's just, there's not much to converse about. It fucking happened, man.
It did happen, and they even... I don't get people still deny it, though. People went in there with the specific intent of taking enough pictures and recording enough evidence
Seriously.
to make sure that...
Alfred Hitchcock, he made a documentary on the Holocaust, and the intention was to gather so much evidence, so much proof, that it could not be denied by anyone. Well, you failed, Hitchcock.
Hitchcock, you failed.
Mission aborted.
I can't believe there's still people out there who are like, yeah, it didn't happen. I completely believe that it's just being faked by the government. Same with the moon landing.
Ridiculous. These people have to be trolling, right?
Yeah, they have to be.
Well, I don't know.
I don't want to live in a world where these people are serious.
There are crazy fucking stupid people out there. You never know.
Yep.
It's crazy. So, have we anything to say on the endangerment of bananas?
It reminds me of the endangerment of bees. I don't know if bees are legitimately endangered or not, but as far as me caring enough to do something about it, I don't. Not to sound harsh to my bee and banana listeners out there, but
we just lost a huge demographic.
We don't care about your plight. No, I don't have a lot to say on the endangerment of bananas. Maybe it's a real thing.
We are the Bee and Banana Association of America. We will burn you to the ground.
We're coming for you.
Post haste.
I know that a lot of bananas are grown in Costa Rica.
I know nothing about bananas. I know that, like, they're my favorite ingredient in my mom's bomb-ass fruit salad, but, you know...
Really? I don't like bananas.
I love bananas.
They're too... The texture...
Fucking crazy.
The texture, and it just becomes mush in your mouth. Is just...
Oh, yeah. I'm usually very sensitive to textures. The fruit that I don't like the texture of is fucking oranges. I like the juice.
You don't like oranges?
I don't like the texture of oranges.
After you get all the juice out of the orange and you're left with that, like, kind of, like, oddly tough...
It slithers down your throat.
Oh, yeah. It's also really slithery.
People
eat kiwis.
Yeah,
Have you ever had a kiwi?
I don't think I have. Have you ever had a kiwi?
I've never had a kiwi.
Wow, this is such an interesting podcast, right? But we're doing good. I'm confident in this one.
Let's get the fuck away from bees and bananas.
Okay, so
the B&B Association.
All right. So,
my friend Eric, who lives in Utah, he runs a sports blog on the interweb, and he's gained a little bit of a following, and he said that if we talk about sports, he's willing.
Oh God.
He's willing to put us on his blog. So, we just need to soldier through this. Cameron, do you have a favorite sport?
Anything with a ball, no good, man. I don't know. No, I don't. I don't have a favorite sport. Like, I guess the closest is, like, I don't know, bowling. Because that's bowling, like, I heard on the making of The Big Lebowski, the Coen brothers were talking about bowling is the only sport where you can just kind of sit down, have a beer.
That and, like, all other... They're called pub sports. You know, darts and dominoes, I guess, are considered pub sports.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of cliched. Well, I guess not cliche, but it's been said before by so many people. But I would love to see sports with athletes, like in an unrestricted league where people can do as many sports enhancement drugs as they want, just performing at top condition, top caliber.
Like the steroids are the sport.
Yeah.
How many steroids can you fucking take?
Would you love to see, like... I don't even watch sports, but I would start watching baseball if the people throwing the baseball could, like, pitch it at 150 miles per hour, and then the man hitting it just, like, cracks his bat in half and sends it out of the stadium and, like, kills a local man 3 miles away. I would love that sport.
Yeah, so, you know, all in all, Eric, you came to the wrong two guys.
Oh, yeah.
I hate to tell you, muchacho.
You know, I promised you so much, but I
We're
gave
the
you
exact
so
wrong people. Like, did you ever play sports at all? Did your parents ever make you?
I wrestled for the first, like, few years. And, the reason I came out of wrestling is, like, so innocent. It's because, like, I got first in a competition for wrestling. Which, when you're, like, wrestling, it's called Pee-wee. Because I was, like, in the 2nd grade. When you're wrestling Pee-wee, that's not very hard to do. and I got first. And when we started driving home, I started thinking about it and marinating on the fact that I got first, and I started crying. And
What?
my
Really?
my parents dumbstruck. They were like, "Skylar, why are you crying? You got first place. This is amazing.
That is
great for you."
adorable.
Yeah, and then I said I got first place. That means that 2 other people had to do worse.
Oh my
than me.
god.
Yeah.
You're like fucking Gandhi or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the most caring thing I've ever heard.
I peaked at 2nd grade.
Okay, peaked at 2nd grade reminds me of when I peaked in kindergarten.
Mhm.
I tell this story to as many people as I can. Like, I've
That's a
never
great
really,
story.
I've never really had a bullying problem. But in kindergarten, an older kid, he attempted to pants me, and he only got my pants to about. This is audio only, so it's kind of hard to explain. But he pretty much failed at pantsing me. He only got him a bit down. So
Imagine thigh level.
yeah,
people.
something like that. And so instead of trying to salvage my dignity and thereby look like an even bigger loser, I took it upon myself to pull my pants all the way down. And
That's genius.
and yes. I pulled them all the way down, and then instead of, being a fucking bully anymore, we both started laughing and we became friends, and we both got in trouble and we just kind of wrote it out together. And I didn't talk to him much after that, but we ended things on good terms. That was probably the most mature thing I've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the first time I realized, like, the power of humor.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a powerful thing.
it conquers all, man. You can resolve anything with it. It's the great unifier of
Mhm.
mankind. I love it. I love humor. It's one of my true loves.
It's one of the few things that connects all cultures to each other.
Yeah.
Like, non-verbal humor will connect to anyone, no matter where you are.
Dude, a guy falling on his ass is funny in any language.
Uh-huh. There's a few, like, great unifiers like that. Numbers are a great unifier. Farts. Humor.
I fucking hate fart humor.
Magic tricks.
My family is just always fucking fart humor. I hate it.
I know, but it's a great unifier.
Is your family that way?
Absolutely.
Oh, are you
It's
like
our
the
generation, Cameron.
Are you also the odd man out when it comes to it?
Yes.
Like,
I don't like it. I don't get it. It's just, there's no appeal there for me.
I guess we're in the minority. It's
Mhm.
just not fucking funny to me. Like, well,
We are the 1%.
I should specify anything can be funny. Like,
Mhm.
anything. Like, I believe there's no limits to what you can joke about, and that's very controversial, but it's just always been my principle. Like, humor is how you cope. So, the dark shit, like the Holocaust and abortion and stuff, that's the shit I believe, and I know this is going to piss a lot of people off, that's the shit I believe you have to joke about. Because just, how else are you going to make it through dark shit like that?
At least to
You know?
take off the edge of the situation. I know that people are going to get offended no matter what you say when it comes to a touchy subject, but you have to joke about it. You have to realize at some point that if you let this thing remain horrible, it's not going to get any better. And people who want to do horrible things to other people, they're only going to try to make that work. You kind of have to make humor about some uncomfortable things sometimes.
Like, I wouldn't have made it to like, just fucking life in general. I wouldn't be fucking alive
Mhm.
without relying on humor. It's therapeutic.
People need it. It's definitely needed.
It's an essential.
So back to sports.
Oh yeah, that's where this started.
I don't like football.
Yeah. I don't want to come down on other people for liking something, but I just don't have that competition in me, I guess.
Yeah, some people, you can see the drive in them
Yeah.
intensely.
Yeah, back to the only sport like you and I ever did. You said wrestling?
Yeah, I wrestled.
So, like in elementary school, my mom put me in Kempo.
Mhm.
She's like, Cameron, you have to know how to defend yourself. Yeah, Mom, I gotta know how to fucking defend myself in suburban Oregon. You never know.
Yeah,
You never fucking know.
I know what Kempo is, and it's like the defensive style. What did your mom think was gonna happen to you? Like, also when you practice, the thing I don't get about karate is I did karate for a little while, and I still don't understand how any of the technique will work in an actual fight. Like, I don't see any of that actually working because of, like, there's so much technique you have to practice in order to get that to happen in an actual fight. You're not gonna be able to do it. I'm sorry, but karate just won't work in practice.
Yeah, the guy you're up against is fucking scrappy, probably,
Yep.
and is just gonna, just tear your ass down. But yeah, I made it to like yellow belt, and then I just kind of fizzled out.
Next on the list, suggested by Brittany, is she wants us to talk about Tumblr. Now, before we get on to the obvious topic about Tumblr, which is insanely sensitive, they're very sensitive people.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Tumblr, the website as a whole. Tumblr as a website, I have no problem with. In fact, I think it's it's
in theory.
In theory, and
you like it?
Yeah, in theory, I like it. But it's the same with any website, including like Reddit. Is that it has a very vocal minority that people tend to stereotype upon.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you can stereotype anyone negatively.
But Tumblr itself is a good idea. It's basically it's kind of like Reddit, except for you have like a more defined feed, and it's based on people who you follow. And
yeah, I know nothing about Tumblr really.
Well, it's like you can go there, like say you like movies, right?
Yeah.
You can follow a bunch of people who post like movie gifs or little facts and tidbits or information about movies coming out. You know how Reddit has specific subreddits. Just imagine eliminating all the subreddits and just having all of your favorite content in one singular feed.
All right.
That's the theory behind Tumblr.
The execution, however.
Yeah, the execution has led to a very vocal minority.
Yeah. People are shitty.
Yeah.
So, and the people are what really make these websites, not the fucking format or what's intended, you know?
I think Tumblr is actually, a pretty good website. Like, as far as artistic values and everything go, I think that's one of the best places to go. If you want to see art and you want to see more kind of, I guess, poetic things, I would definitely go to Reddit. I mean, no, Tumblr.
Tumblr.
Sorry.
All right. Yeah, I think my friend Kiara, name drop, was telling me about that. No, it wasn't Tumblr. It was something else. Tumblr, Snapchat, Instagram. She's telling me about Instagram. Sounds like something be up my alley.
Instagram?
Yeah, like a platform to share my art and stuff.
Yes, yeah. I've never thought about that.
Yeah.
In relation to you. Yeah, use it.
I probably should. I just cycle through Reddit and Facebook just all day.
In between the two. So let's bite the bullet. Talk about the oversensitive sub community of Tumblr. I don't like them that much.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have to come right out and say it.
I really can't speak to this because I've only really heard like secondhand shit about how terrible these people are. So all I can really say is, yeah, they sound shitty.
They're incredibly vocal.
Yeah.
Which it's a small portion of people. I don't believe that all Tumblr's like this, but the small portion of people that just scream at you and want the world to be in a certain way, which is it kind of. I guess for some people they want to favor one group of people more than another.
Yeah.
Not to be far too specific. I don't like that. I don't like trying to put down other people to bring another group of people up.
I hate that. I hate guys who do that when they're like, I don't know, flirting, you know? I hate guys who their only recourse, because they can't think of anything good about themselves really, so they put other people down to bring themselves up. That's a shitty technique. And that's just... Not only is it a bad technique in that it just isn't effective and makes you obviously look like a douche, but it's just a douchey thing to do. It's just the wrong fucking thing to do. There are two things you can do in this world. You can give or you can take. So just fucking give, man. If I were a girl, I'd be far more attracted if a guy was bringing other guys up and putting, like, not exactly putting himself down, but, like,
Just being nice.
Just being nice, you know?
A nice, sensible human being.
Just a sensible, right, just good dude.
Tall, dark, and handsome. Yeah, let's move away from Tumblr before we get
Alright, so our next caller is Joe.
Who was trolling us. Let's try to answer this legitimately, alright? Who would win in a fight, Mike Tyson or Betty Crocker? Now, Cameron, let's weigh the pros and cons of each fighter.
Betty Crocker.
No, Cameron. We're gonna look at this logically. Mike Tyson, pros.
A skilled fighter.
Olympic level fighter. Has taken down the best in the league. Just the most powerful human being when it comes to punching other human beings.
Betty Crocker
Makes some bomb ass baked
What does
items.
She doesn't bake though. She makes shit that you bake in.
Yeah, no.
So like she could throw that at Mike
she,
Tyson.
She makes things. You
Does
know,
she?
she makes the pre-made, like, you can buy Betty Crocker, like, croissants.
Okay. Did she have a
I think.
cooking show at all, or?
But I yeah, Mike Tyson.
Yeah, man. Like, just what'd you expect? What did you expect, Joe?
She's going to die.
What do you want from us?
Oh man.
Okay, I need to see a picture of Betty Crocker.
See, she makes fudge brownies. Betty Crocker fudge brownie mix.
Okay, I caught a glimpse of her on the Google page,
Mhm.
and you know, I think it's safe to say that Mike Tyson has a few pounds on this woman.
Okay. Just in short summaries of Mike Tyson. Heavyweight champion of the world who bit off another man's ear.
and has a track record of beating women, so yeah,
Experienced. Betty Crocker. Makes pre-made...
a fucking cook.
makes pre-made fudge brownies that you shove into your oven. Okay. 3 rounds. First round, just straight up boxing match. Second round, a bake-off. Third round, slam poetry between the two.
They wouldn't make it to 2 or 3, man. She'd be dead. She'd be down for the count. Couldn't have no fucking bake-off.
Ding, ding, ding! Oh, Tyson lands a solid right hook, and she's down for the count.
They don't even fucking call the ambulance, man. They call the fucking hearse.
Mhm.
It's just straight to the morgue.
She's dead. Wow.
Like the force of his punch could take her fucking head off. She's dead. No two ways about it.
End of story. No more Betty Crocker.
The ref just leaves. Okay, I didn't even spot this question. Austin. Wow, I love you, Austin. Favorite movie debate. Okay, if you know Cameron Dufresne and Skylar Shea, you'll know that this is a fucking loaded question.
Well, I don't think that we can really debate on favorite movies. I can't see anything wrong with your taste in movies.
Yeah. Both of our supposed favorite movie that we've kind of said before, they're both Coen Brothers movies,
Yeah, they're
so
Coen Brothers movies.
And the Coen Brothers are very distinct.
They're just great
I've
filmmakers.
I've just heard like some actor who worked with them say they're guys who just don't suck. They just don't suck. So, those 2 movies we're speaking of, Skylar.
Oh Brother Where Art Thou.
Oh Brother Where Art Thou. I fucking love that one.
Favorite movie soundtrack of all time.
Oh, it's a great fucking soundtrack. That fucking bluegrass, man.
Mm-hmm.
Such a fucking clever movie. You can just quote the whole thing. Fuck, what's he say to the 2 guys on the train car?
Oh, say there, fellas.
Either you boys Smithies.
Yeah.
Or if not Smithies per se, were you otherwise trained in the metallurgic arts before straitened circumstances sent you on a life of aimless wandering? Gets pulled off the train.
And then I also love, like, some of the sound effects in that movie are kind of funny. The
I like
part,
when he's getting dragged off the train.
Yeah. Yeah, and when they're rolling down the hill, they go...
Yeah. It's very cartoony. It's a very cartoony movie.
Yeah, just a live-action cartoon film.
Yeah.
And your favorite movie, Cameron?
Okay, No Country for Old Men.
Giving birth to one of the most intimidating characters I think the silver screen has ever seen.
Yeah. Anton Chigurh.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is a movie about a simple Texas hunter. Well, he's not quite simple. He's very skilled because he was in Vietnam, and it takes place in 1980, like right after the war. So he's out hunting elk in the Rio Grande, and he's out in the desert, and he happens upon the scene of a heroin deal gone wrong. Dead Mexicans everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Just brown tar heroin spilling out the back of a truck.
Tar.
Yeah. Wait.
Is that what it was?
Wait.
I thought it was black tar.
Black tar. I'm thinking of, that Mexican brown dope. I think that's a different thing.
Yep.
So yeah, black tar heroin shows how, little I know about the fucking drug trade, but whatever. So like, yeah, black tar heroin just spilling out the back of these truck beds. And like, there's one guy in a truck and he's the only one living, but he's like right on the edge. This Mexican guy, he's just sitting there, can't even move. He's dying of thirst.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a few bullets in him, so he can't move or defend himself. He investigates further because he knows that where there's a last man standing, there must be money. Because this is a fucking drug dealer. there has to be money somewhere. So he asks the dying guy, "Where's the last man standing?" And he goes and looks and finds a dead Mexican under a tree with a satchel with $2 million in it. And no one's around. So and the one witness is dying in a truck in the middle of the desert. Just no witnesses. This is the perfect getaway. The perfect getaway. So he just makes...
You can't write this type of, perfect situation.
Yeah. So he makes off with the $2 million in the satchel, and he goes home with it, and at this point, he's home free. At this point, I don't think there's any way. Just, his conscience gets to him, and he says, shit, I just left that guy to die of thirst in the truck. So doing the right thing, I suppose. I mean, the dumbest thing he ever did, as it turns out, but the right thing nonetheless. He fills an empty jug full of water and drives back out to the scene to give it to the dying man, which, it only prolonged his death, but whatever. Thought that counts, man. And so when he goes back to the scene, he finds that there's 2 cartel associates who've happened upon the scene. He hides from them, and they pry the inspection plate off of his truck, which they can then use to track him. And they chase him, and he just narrowly escapes. They send a pit bull after him, and they chases him down the fucking river. He just shoots it, rises, jumping on him. And so now he's on the fucking run. Now he's screwed because he did the right thing. So the cartel hires this hitman named Anton Chigurh. And I don't know where the fuck to start. He's just so complex. He has like a set of principles. He believes that he's like a higher power. He believes that he's a hand of fate. He's the angel of death, he sees himself as. And he believes that...
Total sociopath.
Yes, a pure psychopath. I've heard psychologists say that like he's the most pure incarnation in fiction of a psychopath that you could get. And he believes if you've happened to run into him, you were meant to die that day. Some people, like, if it doesn't matter one way or the other that he leaves you dead or alive, sometimes he'll like flip a coin to decide if you live or die, just to emphasize the randomness of fate and the randomness of just death. And this is just my favorite movie villain of all time, played by Javier Bardem. He got Best Supporting Actor at the Oscars for it. He's just gravy. Just a great performance. I think it rivals Heath Ledger's The Joker in The Dark Knight as one of my favorite performances of all time.
Definitely.
And with the core of this movie, what makes it my favorite movie thematically speaking is like its observation about the nature of evil. Like whether evil is getting worse, whether maybe it's getting better. Like the people who embody evil, like Anton Chigurh, the people who fight against evil, like the sheriff character who we follow, and like if evil is just a constant that's never changed, like the sheriff character, he's an older guy, and he's this close to retiring, and he's seen some shit, and he's just jaded, and he's under the impression, he's one of these guys who's like, things ain't what they used to be. People in my days had morals and respect for their elders, but these days everything's just going to hell in a handbasket, and everything's evil and just getting worse and going down the shitter. And like he comes to realize over the course of the film that things aren't getting worse. Perhaps things have just always been the same.
Yep. And
he only thinks they're getting worse because of his age and his realization of his own mortality, and it's making him see things different. And he's just looking back on his glory days and missing them, and it makes him see things differently. And the final scene of the film is just glorious. And, I can't tell you I fully understand it, but it's just him telling his wife about these 2 dreams he had. And in the first one, he meets his father somewhere, and his father gives him money, and he says he thinks he lost it. And that one I'm trying to wrap my head around, like the thematic importance of that. Like, he let his father down, I guess, and he's just kind of thinking about it, thinking about the old guard and the passing of the torch. And the second dream, he says he's riding through a pass on some mountains at night on a horse, and he sees both of these dreams involve his father, and he's riding through this mountain on a horse, and his father passes him. He's trying to catch up to his father, and his father just kind of disappears into the horizon. Anyway, so he says that he knows that when he catches up to his father, he'll be there, and they'll be together, and that will be it.
Yep.
And that's when he will get his closure. And it's just so powerful. It's just so powerful. Just I don't even get it, man. I can't give you like a detailed analysis of exactly what that means. I just like it.
Yep.
Just he knows when he reaches his father, they can be together in an afterlife, and he just has to kind of deal with things until then and forget all of this angst over things like that. Oh, just great. Great film. It's my favorite film.
If I let you continue to talk about this, you'll fill up an entire hour, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So all that being said, that's not Cameron's favorite movie. No. Yeah, it's a Coen Brothers movie, but it's one of the least Coen Brothers movies.
Are you talking about the humor? Because
no, it's like even like well, cinematography still feels the same, but it's just they've never really done anything like that, you know?
Yeah.
It's serious.
Like, serious.
Because when you think of Coen Brothers, you think kind of wacky,
mixed with the macabre and the violent and stuff like that. Yeah, like this is probably their most like serious, kind of, I'd say most heartfelt movie, because most of their movies have a kind of cynicism to them, and they're very nihilistic, and you could say this movie is nihilistic, but I don't know. It's about coping. It's about coping with the world and how you perceive it. So I don't think that's nihilistic at all. It's just, finding the meaning.
Do you think, no, I'm not going to say that. I kind of, like, in my mind, I imagined Matthew McConaughey's character from True Detective to be based on the movie,
Anton?
Yeah. No, not Anton, but just the movie itself, kind of thematically.
Yeah. Russ Cole from True Detective is very No Country for Old Men-esque in his beliefs, his just tendencies towards nihilism. Like there's no inherent meaning in life, or just we're all racing to a red light, and the human race has just been given a raw deal, and we should just...
Time is a flat circle.
We should just walk hand in hand to extinction. Yeah, it's a great show. But
Good
yeah,
show.
that show has a lot of thematic consistency with No Country for Old Men.
So, let's move on to the final topic on the list, unless you have something to talk about after it. But nostalgia goggles, do you know what that is?
Nostalgia goggles. That's basically what I was just talking about with No Country for Old Men.
No. What I'm thinking about for nostalgia goggles is that when you look back on something that was in your childhood, you perceive it to be better than it actually was.
Yes. I get that.
Okay,
this is different. Yeah, I get this.
For instance, TV shows are a major proponent of that. I used to watch Johnny Test.
Oh,
yeah, do you remember Johnny Test?
That's the most annoying fucking show.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I used to watch that show, and I as far as I can remember, I remember liking it. But man, that show does not hold up over time.
No, it does not. The shittiest flash animation, the most annoying grating voice acting.
Even the characters are just... I don't like Johnny.
I don't like the fucking dog. I don't like the sisters. I don't like that dude they like.
Gil.
Fucking Gil. Why do I remember so much about this fucking show? I don't like fucking Bling Bling Boy.
What was that?
That is exactly how he talks. You remember?
Oh, Bling
Bling Bling Boy.
Oh, Bling
Bling Boy.
Yeah. Like, for some reason...
It is I, Bling Bling Boy.
For some reason, like, 30-year-old man voicing a little child who owns an island.
Yeah. That's just a shitty show.
Bling
And,
Boy.
to go back to what I was talking about, like, people are saying that just these days, kids these days are just going to hell, and they're just stupid, and they don't know what the fuck what real entertainment is, like us 90 kids do.
Oh, no.
No, things don't change, man. The world doesn't change, you change. There's a few solid, very thought-provoking children's programs on nowadays, like, okay, a children's movie that makes me question why people are hating on just modern child culture.
Oh, yeah.
Inside Out.
Oh, that's
Inside
a
Out.
wonderful movie.
That's the most mature children's film I've ever seen.
It touches on depression. It touches
Seriously.
on growing up.
The moral of that film is so rare and just mature, and you'd never see it. Like, the moral of all the films I grew up with was, if you just believe in yourself, Cameron,
You're just gonna be a special snowflake.
you're a special snowflake, and everything will go right for you if you just
You're gonna overcome your adversity, and everything's gonna be perfect.
But this movie, it isn't cynical. It isn't downtrodden. It doesn't give you like a depressing moral.
It's realistic.
No, it's realistic, and it just takes the good with the bad. The moral is like sadness has its place. It's an important constructive emotion, and it's there for just as important a reason as happiness is.
Trying to block it out and pretending it doesn't exist isn't gonna help you.
Yeah,
Like,
it's gonna come, man.
Yeah.
Sadness is gonna happen. And you just have to fucking deal with it and take it in stride and use it and just live with it. And that's a great fucking moral. And there are plenty of children's films nowadays with morals that are just as fucking just great. Like Monsters University. Like, that's the movie that teaches kids they can't be what they want to be necessarily. like this Mike Wazowski, his only ambition is to become a scarer, and you know what? He doesn't become a scarer. He doesn't become a scarer, Skylar. He doesn't become a fucking scarer.
The fact that he got into the class was amazing.
But, you know, he finds a strength within himself that wasn't what he wanted, but was different and was useful and just...
Was him. It was
him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't get people who say that fucking... They're so much better because they grew up in the fucking 90s, man. It's the world. People are fundamentally always just the same, I think.
Just everyone's wearing nostalgia goggles. Every generation's gonna think that they're better than the generations before and after them. I think.
Yeah. It's just nuts. It's just the biggest act of delusion and self-deception I've ever fucking seen in people.
Is there any other things that kind of kids entertainment that you're enjoying?
Adventure Time's pretty good.
Adventure Time is a good show.
Pixar.
Pixar has always been great.
Man.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And, Pixar is part of the old guard as well as the new. It's part of the 90s kids as well as the new kids who get stuff like Inside Out and Monsters University or whatnot. Yeah, it's just great.
You know what I wish would have happened? I wish I would have been one of the generations of kids to grow up with the Harry Potter children.
Yeah.
So, I was 11 years old when the movie came out, and then as they got older, I grew up with them and watched them go through Hogwarts.
Yeah. All right, so it's 4:46, and you have to get to work soon. So, before I forget, my mom's friend was recently catfished, it turns out.
I want to hear this story. I haven't heard it before.
Okay, so she was perusing a dating site, and she met a guy. And she was...
This will be an everlasting love.
So, she meets this guy on a dating site, and she's talking to him for 2 weeks. And he tells her, well, this is the first red flag. He tells her that he has a son named Bob. That's the first red flag for me. That is the fakest name I've ever fucking heard.
No one names
of all
their
the
kid
fucking
Bob.
names.
It's it's any Bob you meet started out as a Robert and then got old. There is no Bob.
And this guy says that he's in special forces, of course, talking himself up. And he says that he's a single father. Just the exact stereotypical things a guy's gonna say to make himself sound good. And
once saved a baby
from a burning
dog,
building,
and a pregnant woman from a burning building, and I carried them all over my shoulder, and then I threw them all into a swimming pool of Jello.
Just the most ridiculous shit he's telling her. And he sends her a picture of his son Bob. And Skylar, this is the most obvious stock photo I have ever seen.
Is it on a white background and it's a
Yes! It is on a stark white background, and it is a kid in a Halloween costume of an army man, like a soldier outfit.
Oh, wow.
And he explains that by saying that his kid is in military school.
And we got professional photos done.
Oh my god. And my mom's friend tells her about this guy and all this, and my mom starts warning her about these red flags that she's picking up on. And then my mom's friend tells her, yeah, I guess if I'm allowed to keep talking to this guy, I have to send him $200. I shit you do, I do not. And he sends her this, a picture of this paper with an eagle stamped on it to look official, and there's a bunch of typos on it, and it's paragraphs and paragraphs long, all effectively saying, give me $200, full of typos, just obviously fake.
Oh, wow.
And I forget the reasoning behind why she had to send him $200, but whatever. It's not, but like, so we find this guy out and like, we're confronting him, me, my mom, and my mom's friend. And my mom and her friend are just like kind of taking turns trying to take him down. And I'm like, you guys have no idea how to work this because like this guy just keeps denying, of course, and they just keep of course,
definitely.
And they just keep coming back to him with reasons why he's a fucking liar. And it's like, come on, guys.
What? No, yeah, you've got nothing on him. You've got nothing on him.
My point is, like, what's the point of that? Of course he's going to keep denying it. What are you really saying?
Yeah.
So I say, come on, give me the phone. I'll deliver the mic drop. And this would have been, like, the coolest thing I've ever said.
Mm-hmm.
Except, okay, I wrote it down on a piece of paper and brought it with me just for this occasion. And tell me, after I read it, if you spot the mistake. Just a slight... Go run your scam on someone less stupid. You might be hard-pressed to find a victim gullible enough, though, because frankly, you're a shitty con man. Find a more honest line of work, one that requires the use of your spine, perhaps. I'm done, thank you. And that's what I sent him. Did you spot the error?
The use of your spine, perhaps?
No. Okay, I'll tell you. It's in the first sentence.
Oh.
Okay, what is it, Skylar?
Someone less stupid.
I meant to say stupider.
Yeah.
And that would have made the whole thing badass, but no, I said less stupid, which makes no fucking sense.
So how long were you writing that before you,
I was so proud of myself, Skylar.
Mm-hmm.
It took me, like, first I thought of it in my head as they were texting this guy, and I was like, dude, I so want to drop the hammer on this dude. And I thought...
this is gonna be so awesome.
I thought of that entire spiel, and I'm like, yeah, man, give me the phone.
Dufresne.
I'm in, man.
The doof man.
I'm gonna send this guy packing. I'm gonna send this guy to the fucking cleaners. And then, yeah, I write that all out and send it, and I'm fucking trembling with how badass I am. And then I read back over it, and I'm like, oh, fuck, less stupid.
And he's like, LOL, what?
Well, luckily he didn't catch it, but I did. And it was just, that's one of my pet peeves when you almost said something witty, but you just fucked it up somehow. Like whether you did that or you like stuttered or something.
If I had a nickel for every single thing I thought would have been cool, but then I stuttered or like delivered something wrong, and then I'm just left with that sitting in the back of my mind.
Just like,
forever.
Oh man, I was so close to just Robin Williamsing that shit.
Yep.
But I just wrecked it. Skylar. So, anyway, it is 4:51.
I gotta leave.
Alright, kids. This has been Cast and Release. Have yourselves a wonderful evening. Keep on keeping on.
And good night.
Good night.